All right, guys, I told you that I would give you a bonus lesson if you were interested in learning more about 2-point perspective. So we talked about 1-point perspective being a side of a shape. So we talked about looking from above, or technically you're going to look from the side, depending on some projects. Well, when you do 2-point perspective, you're actually starting from an angle. Okay, so we're just going to set up the same exact way we did for 1-point perspective. We're going to add in our horizon line right in the middle, nice and light though, and then you're going to put a vanishing point on both ends of your paper. Now, the longer the paper you have, the better the perspective can sometimes turn out, but we should be okay just working with our 2 points right here. Okay, so when we start with 2-point perspective, instead of drawing a shape, which is a side, we are going to draw an edge, okay? So I'm going to draw an edge here. I'm going to draw an edge over here. I'm going to draw one up here so you can get the idea. All right, so these are edges, okay? So we're thinking more in terms of basic generic boxes at this point. Doing 2-point perspective for round shapes and things like that are much more tricky and kind of above my talent level. So we're going to take the top and the bottom of our edge here, of our line, and we're going to bring that to the left vanishing point. And then we are also going to take it over to the right side vanishing point. Now, I don't need to draw my line all the way over there. I kind of just let it kind of trail off. I just need to make sure my ruler is in line. Okay? All right, so I've connected back this way, I've connected back this way. Well, how do I finish it off? Well, similar to what we did with 1-point perspective, we have to stay parallel to our original edge. So parallel to our edge is how we're going to cut off our shapes on both sides. So I'm going to cut there, and I'm going to cut right here. We can get rid of anything extra. Hence why I said you don't have to necessarily connect all the way back to the vanishing point, because a lot of it's going to get erased. We have one last step to finish our box. So we've done our parallel edges here. So now we're actually going to crisscross, and we're going to take the right side to the left vanishing point and the left side to the right vanishing point. So lining up that corner, drawing with our pencil, drawing lightly. And then this side I know where I'm going to connect, so I can go in and erase out the wrecks. So we've kind of made this nice block platform with our 2-point perspective. So now we can go over here and do the same thing with this shape. Okay. So again, right side to the vanishing point, left side to the vanishing point. Now, I'm going to end up running in to my other shape. So I'm going to stop as soon as I hit my other shape. Okay? Because we're going to kind of show you how overlapping works with perspective. Alright, so then my next step, and I didn't do a very good job connecting to my vanishing point over here. I'd want to make that correction before I move on. Alright, that'll have to do. This is practice. So when I cut off my shape, I still need to stay up and down parallel to my original line, here and here. And I'm going to cut off over there, get rid of anything that's left over here. And then I'm going to close off going to opposite vanishing points. So left side to the right vanishing point, right side to the left vanishing point. And that one created more of a rectangle, but we created a nice overlap here. So you technically could stack these shapes now. So if I were to add an edge right here, I could stack these blocks or rectangles, however you want to think about them. Now, as I get closer to the horizon line, you're going to notice that it flattens out a little bit. There's not nearly as much of an angle. And then I'm going to want to erase all this stuff that's on the inside. And this is going to get a little tricky because Looks like my eraser might have had some oil pastel on it. Sorry, guys. Close off the sides. Figure out where you want to close off the side. So I'm going to trim this down even further so that it stacks better. And then once you get that there, then you can close off the top. Now I'm super close to my horizon line. So the top of my shape here is just gonna barely show. But I always have to follow the same formula of going from my corner to my vanishing point. If you don't use those vanishing points, it's not going to make sense on your paper. So what do we do with this one up here? So if you notice, the ones that are below the vanishing point, I can see the tops of them. So when I go above the vanishing point, I'm no longer going to be able to see the top, but I will be able to see the bottom. So again, connecting back to those same two vanishing points every time, and then cutting off my shape using my parallel lines to that original edge. And then I finish it off by using my opposite side vanishing points and crossing. Okay, then I can go ahead and take my eraser and erase all that unnecessary information. And so now I've got a floating platform up here, but you can see underneath it. So you can see how 2-point perspective can get a little bit more complicated, but it also can create some really, really cool things. So if you are loving this, continue on, go on YouTube or ask your parents first and search away 2-point perspective. There's so many cool videos out there. They can show you how to create windows and doorways. Like really quickly, I'll show you, like, I can make an archway here, and I can make it look like a tunnel just by taking this corner here to the back vanishing point and going there. So like this can all be bricks on the inside of a tunnel, and then this can be the roadway going in. See how that makes sense? So it goes in that way. So there's a lot of cool things you can do with perspective, just using these vanishing points to help you mathematically draw that three-dimensional like drawing. So architects use this kind of stuff all the time. So if you're interested in that at all, this is going to be right up your alley. I hope you guys like this bonus video. This is something that even my 7th and 8th graders struggle with. So if you are mastering this, give yourself a pat on the back. Awesome job.